Very hard to get your emotions under control with that shot. It's almost too short, too soft a swing for the average player. Until they work on their sensitivity, they're probably not going to have much luck with that. So you're better off, when you hit these shots, go to a 9-iron, maybe even an 8-iron, but probably a 9-iron or a pitching wedge. Stay away from the sand wedges in the beginning. But 9-irons and pitching wedges will give you enough bump and run where you can hit that ball with enough force and not have it take off on you. This is an 8-iron here. Once again, look at how short the shot, the swing really gets to go all the way to the far end of that green. You gotta hold that club very light so you don't beat on that thing too far. That's hard to do. I'm telling you, that's taken at least 5 million balls, maybe more. But I practice it all the time. Now, one of the things that I do practice, I come out here most every evening to start off my practice sessions. Now that we got the longer days, you'll see me out here all the time. I use a 7-iron, an 8-iron, and my 3 wedges. A pitching wedge, a 54-degree sand wedge, and a 58-degree lob wedge. And I go to every target. I hit shots to every target with each club because I'm working on my sensitivity for the soft little bump and run, and I'm also working on taking a longer swing. See, this is the other side of that coin. When you have to take a longer swing with a sand wedge to go all the way down to the far end of this green, you've got to carry this ball all the way down there. Because if I hit it halfway, it will usually stop and never get there. But these greens are firm enough right now where it is. But I'm telling you, in another few weeks, when we start getting a little softer, this grass starts to grow and it gets warmer, you're going to see that ball, I can fly it virtually to the pin and it stops like it's on Velcro, just like on TV. The greens have more to do with the ball backing up than we do, to tell you the truth. And when the greens are soft and receptive and that ball comes in at a trajectory that's fairly high, that ball's got a lot of backspin, it's going to hit and it's going to come back. And if you've ever experienced the 4th hole, the 8th hole, the 11th hole, Palmer,
the water course.
Those balls will peel back into that water hazard so fast at certain times of the year because they hit on that front, it's sloped to you. You hit a higher shot in there and it just peels right down in the hill, and we all know what happens once they go down those hills to the water. They keep going. But these shots here, if you want to make them stop, a good player is thinking in terms of trajectory. The more vertical it comes down, the softer it lands. I know there's a shot that the term of it is called a flop shot. The flop shot, we actually try to put very little spin on it because that way it doesn't, see, when a ball lands, it's got backspin, and the minute it hits, the spin reverses on you. So having a lot of backspin going into a hard green is not something you really want. You need vertical. Vertical. That way, even if it bounces in place and it's not taking off on you. So a shot that they call a flop shot, the real flop shot, is very hard off of a tight lie because you're trying to shovel this club under the ball and make it come down with minimal spin, because a lot of spin is going to reverse and take off on you. So it's a lot easier played when you can get under the shot in rough, around greens. That's what you see when they take a big swing next to the green and the ball just pops out and it goes nowhere. And if you look at that ball, it's got very little spin. It's like a knuckleball if you ever played any baseball.
Why would you try to do a flop shot from tight line?
From where?
Why would you try to do a flop shot from the tight line?
Because sometimes you have not much of a choice. So, but this shot can still be played, it's just very tricky. Your timing has to be just about perfect to do that. Very dangerous. You can scull that ball and it's gone. The longer your swing gets, if you miss it, the more trouble you're going to have. Stay with a putter, a 7-iron, an 8-iron because they're shorter swings, and even if you scull it, you'll still be in play with a chance at that putt. But that wedge, the longer you get back, oh boy, you hit that one thin, it's gone. Dangerous shots.
You wind up on the other side of a bunker. You gotta use it.
Well, there you got no choice. You got no choice. That's exactly right. That's why I practice them all the time, because I got to be ready to go with what I need. It's like somebody says, well, I never practiced that 3-iron much. Why do you even carry it then? Because if you can't pull it out when you need it, why do you even have it? Doesn't make any sense. Get yourself a hybrid. They're easier to hit because they make the ball go higher. Anybody got any questions?
How far out would you hit the shots that you just taught us? How far out would you go?
Again, it depends on what I've got in front of me. I would lessen the loft on the club if I had nothing in front of me. But if I'm, like my lob wedge, I can go out to 80, 85 yards with this club. Gary?
You say when you got a lot of backspin, the ball hits and then reverses.
Right.
Now when it reverses, and the next bounce does it reverse again?
No.
So why do I see when they hit the green, it hits, runs forward, and then on the next one it's
Here's what happens. They hit it, and it's usually that low shot going in because they're trying to minimize the spin. It hits, and it's still spinning, and it skids. It doesn't really grab the green until the next shot, believe it or not. I've seen that happen a lot.
It didn't reverse?
It stayed reversed, and it skidded off of it. It didn't reverse on the first bounce because the green might have been firm enough where it didn't catch, and then the next time, that's when it caught. I mean, have you ever seen the Roadrunner on TV? He skids for a while too. Same idea. In other words, it's got so much spin, it didn't take it and reverse it on the first bounce. The second bounce is like you see it jumps up there, and then all of a sudden it grabs on the next one. Those are usually a low shot that they play. They're really leading it. They don't use their hands and wrists on that at all because it would give them too much loft. So they play that shot by leading here like this. It hits, and if the green's right, it might hit, grab on the next bounce, and then just check up. Again, a lot of that's the greens. You're not going to be doing that for about another year on those greens, I can tell you that. Anybody else got a question?
When did the pros start using backspin?
When did the pros start?
Because that didn't happen in COVID.
Oh sure, the only way a ball goes in the air is it's got to have spin.
On the green.
Well, again, the greens is receptive. I can, yeah. No, see, these balls have dimples on them. Those dimples help the ball create lift. Without dimples on this ball, it wouldn't go in the air. It'd be going all over the place on you. You wouldn't be able to control it. When the ball spins backwards, those dimples, and if you ever looked at them, there's small ones, there's big ones. There's a special design. These Callaway balls have what's known as a dodecahedron design. If you look at it, it looks like it's in pyramids all over the ball. You have high spin balls, you have low spin balls. If you're a high ball hitter, get yourself a low spin ball, you'll probably pick up 10 yards or more on the fairway. Won't spin as much on the green. Pro V1X, less spin, more run. Pro V1, much higher spin, much more backspin on the ball. Gets it up in the air much easier. So if you're a low ball hitter, you'd want a ball with a lot of spin. If you're a high ball hitter, not so much. Burger King Country Club, have it your way. Okay? I want to thank you all for coming out. Next Tuesday, we'll be back at it again. We'll come up with some devilish thought. Maybe hitting low hooking one irons out of a tight lie or something. Thank you. I appreciate you coming out.